And away we go. It is the Aftermath, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. They're located in Dayton, Kentucky, right down the street from Newport on the Levee. So not too far into northern Kentucky for you Cincinnati folks. They've got the best fried chicken in Cincinnati. That's why you make the trip. Fried chicken's great. The chicken tenders, there's no better around. The chicken dunkers are one of my favorites. The French fries, the coleslaw, deviled eggs, fried pickles. It's gluten-free. So if you've got a gluten allergy, you can comfortably eat a Galactic Fried Chicken. But yeah, head down and see them. They will get you taken care of. Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them BCJ sent you. All right, Aaron, let's get to it. Bearcats win 89-62 over Lipscomb. There was, a brief moment of Christmas break hangover as Lipscomb jumped out to a 7-1 lead. Cincinnati looked like it was allergic to passing the ball for the first 5 possessions, and then they played much better from there on out. Still some minor things to talk about in terms of what looked good, what didn't look good, but overall, Aaron, it's a decent Lipscomb team. It's a team that is projected to win their conference, a team that has played pretty well in the non-conference, and Cincinnati took care of business. And in bye games, that's what you're supposed to do. Aaron, you have the floor.
I know that I talked the last bye game about how I was bored watching tonight. I think because of some of the storylines that were there, and just because after that first 5 possessions, when they decided that they were actually going to play basketball like a, Power 4 school against a non-con bye game, it got fun. They pushed the pace. They started to press, and it was fun to watch. The triple-double watch was out for the entirety of the second half for Baba Miller. That hasn't been done. The telecast, I believe, said since Gary Clark. 20 rebounds in a game hadn't been done since Trey Scott. And anytime you're starting to see, I don't care if it's a bye game or not, anytime you're starting to see things like that happen, it's fun to watch. So I don't know. I was happy to see the response because you could not lose Lipscomb and hope that the season had a snowball's chance in hell. So I think that seeing Kirk Risa finally have his best game as a Bearcat was long overdue. Baba Miller continued to play like a man, unhinged, particularly rebounding. Mustafa Cham had a great game.
Great second half. First half was a little bumpy. I think it's fair to say he had 2 points at halftime. Very good second half, though. He more than made up for it with his second half performance.
So, like I said, I mean, just happy to see some of these things happening. I liked the starting lineup changes that were made. Thought that everybody kind of played their role a little bit better. You really hope that you see Sean Abayev get out of this, I'll say it, funk that he's in. I have zero issue saying funk. I don't have to get told I can't say that word by Coach Wes Miller. But
you're never at a press conference. You're fine.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't, and Jizzle took advantage of the starting role that he had and kind of ran with it, and it's in double digits once again. So this is I think the team that we thought we were going to see, and it took them until the end of the non-conference to get there, and you hope that it continues. And I don't give them a puncher's chance against Houston, but if we see some of the things that were happening tonight, you at least have a close game, maybe.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't one thing that annoyed me a little bit is I still think there were periods that the passing was really good. There were also some periods tonight where I thought they were still sloppy. And they didn't get penalized for it because Lipscomb's not, athletically a Big 12 team. But I thought there were still a lot of passes that left a lot to be desired, or like they were trying to force things into an area that like you just can't try to force a ball into in a game. Like, stuff that works in practice or stuff that works when you're like installing a play. Right? Okay, well, this is going to be there. You still have to read the defense and know, okay, well, the defense is in my way and I'm not going to be able to throw this pass. I thought there were still a few too many of those, but overall the passing was better as the game wore on. They were moving the ball. They were finding open shooters. They were finding whoever the hot shooter was quite a bit. They were more efficient on offensive rebounds tonight, I thought, and getting the ball and making the right play off of the offensive rebound. But I thought the offense looked better. I think it feels like they're getting more comfortable with Jizzle being back and having the ball in his hands. Outside of the opening possession, I think they had the ball for 20 seconds. Jizzle dribbled for 15 of it, and they took a bad shot. And I'm like, we're not doing this tonight. Like, I can't sit through. I can't sit through this tonight. And then I think I counted on 4 of the first 5 possessions. They threw a total of 5 passes. I was like, I'm gonna go like sit in the media room and play on my phone if this is what we're gonna get tonight. And then Wes called the timeout when they got down to 7-1. And for the most part, they left that in the first 3 minutes, and the next 37 minutes looked much better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it continues to be somehow, some way, continues to be a problem of this team can't play 40 minutes. They are allergic to playing 40 minutes. They will not.
They were close. They were as close as they've been all year tonight. I'll give them that.
When you know what your season has looked like thus far, and you come out and play flat your first 3 minutes, it blows my mind. I don't understand how you just don't play with any sense of urgency until you take the timeout. And kudos to Wes. We haven't had many opportunities this non-con schedule to give him flowers, but kudos to Wes for calling the timeout, recognizing the issue, and straightening things out. But I cannot wrap my mind around the fact that they're like, you know what, we're just gonna take it easy here and just kind of mess around for a couple minutes, see what happens.
I mean, I think there is some of it that is the post, like you're coming back from break, you've been off for 9 days, haven't played for 9 days. I think there's something to that. I didn't think the effort was bad. It was stagnant. It was bumpy immediately.
Same thing Coach said.
Yeah. I mean, it like, you got to move the ball. You got to move the defense. And like the one time they did move the ball, they passed it a bunch. I think they passed it like 9 times on that possession and still took a guarded 27-footer from Day Thomas. Then you're passing the ball to pass the ball. You're not passing the ball. Like, they didn't actively move the defense. But they did learn from it. And I did think it, I think when they brought Kerr in and Kerr hit that flurry of threes, I think that opened everything up. And then guys started playing a little more loose, started playing a little more free. There wasn't nearly as much dribbling, and 21 assists, solid number. Same number of assists in the game as Baba Miller rebounds, which monster game from Baba. 11, 21, and 7. He is, he's as good of a natural rebounder, like out of area rebounder, like just the ability to go get the ball that they've had in a while.
Lipscomb had 10 more rebounds than Baba Miller.
Yeah.
Total.
Baba had 21, Lipscomb had 31. So look, this is not going to be a prolific offensive team. It's not going to be. They're going to have to make their hay on the glass. They're going to have to turn second chance rebounds into points. They're going to have to play, we've seen, like, I don't think I'm breaking any new news here. New news. Shout out Jason and Travis. They're going to have to get points in transition. They're going to have to get some activity off of turnovers. Like in these games where they haven't been able, Clemson was one in that first half. I think there was 2 turnovers for Clemson in the first half, and Cincinnati just got steamrolled. Xavier, they couldn't get turnovers in the Xavier game, and that kept them from finding any rhythm, any flow offensively. So, yeah, would in a perfect world, like all of a sudden this team becomes a good offensive team, but we've seen 13 games. I'm not expecting all of a sudden the light switch to go on. Right now, they're 211th in adjusted offensive efficiency. Expecting them to be good at it is that's a fool's errand at this point in time. So they're going to have to do the other things well.
You have a pretty good sample size at 13 games. That's a third of your season. So,
John says, "Tell me 10-8 gets us in, so I can talk myself into it." I think it would have to be 11, maybe 12, and it would depend on who some of those wins were. I mean, I guess if you get to 10-8 and you beat like 4 or 5 of the best teams in the conference, maybe you could talk yourself into it with like 5 quad A plus wins or quad 1 plus wins. But I think it would be 11 or 12 is probably the more likely number it's going to take. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that here in the future. Today we're going to talk about this game, but I'm not going to tell you 10-8 gets them in, because I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
Offense is fickle. Ball just needs to go through the net. I disagree. P. Crawley, like Lipscomb ran really good offense tonight. Like some of their offensive sets are like, man, these guys run really good offense. They're not as talented.
No,
but you can see the difference in what really good offensive sets look like. Yeah, Tucker, at 11 minimum.
Some of those backdoor cuts, they certainly took advantage of those. They had some really crisp passes especially on some of those backdoor cuts through traffic.
Wide open threes where they move the ball efficiently, strategically got a guy catch and shoot wide open on the wing or on the baseline. Like, this team doesn't run great offense. It is what it is. They're not gonna. So you need a night where you make 11 threes and you shoot really well from 2. What we say is 25 of 46, something like that from 2.
20, yeah. I think that was it.
That's the difference. It's both. Like they need to throw it inside more. They need to make more threes. They need to do both better, because they've been really bad at both for most of the season.
Yeah, at least they took care of the ball today.
They did. I thought they were. I think they probably, like, what's the NFL, like, they talk about turnover worthy plays. They probably should have ended up with a few more turnovers on stuff they got away with tonight that they're not going to get away with going forward. But correct. 8 turnovers, I'm not gonna get upset about a night where they turn it over 8 times.
Right. Especially when you countered that also with 21 assists.
Yeah. That's a good, like, 21-8. You feel real good. 2.5 to 1, almost 3 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Things are working out for you pretty well. And that's a Lipscomb team. I know, people that the Duke game was an aberration, how well they played in the first half. They turned Duke over 17 times in the first half.
That's bananas.
Yeah. So, good on the offense for the most part, playing with some efficiency. What's up with Sean? Seems like he's regressing. I have a theory. You take a really big risk starting a freshman that still needs development. he still needs development. Like, he is not a finished product. You are not talking about AJ DeBansa, Cameron Boozer, Darren Peterson. Like, he's really talented, and he's a guy that scoring has come pretty easy for most of his basketball life. And I think they probably would have been better off, Aaron. And this is hindsight. It's easy to hindsight's 2020.
Sure.
But I think they probably should have, in a perfect world, started Buck to begin the season and let Sean be a spark off the bench and become a little bit more comfortable, as opposed to, you're our starting wing and we need you to go out and score 15 points a night. Because that's kind of the pressure that was on him from the jump. And when it doesn't go well and you're fighting constantly to get out of that, the kid puts in as much work as anybody that's been here in a long time. Like, he's Sean Kilpatrick level in the gym.
That's what it sounds like.
But sometimes that's counterproductive when you're fighting in your head.
Right.
What is happening and why am I not playing as well as I've played my entire life?
Well,
and go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think that's probably, to me anyway, I think that's probably 90% of this is just that he is in his head and he can't shoot well right now. And when you go 0 for 6, 1 for 6, these nights are starting to pile up.
Yeah.
Where you have the bad nights and you're not shooting your way out of it. It's not getting better. He made his 2 free throws. Okay. That was it. And he did try and do some different things. I even noted to myself that I felt like I was watching Dan Skillings at times. When Sean Abayev had the ball, he tried to drive tonight. He didn't just settle for the 3. He didn't do the fadeaway 3 stuff that we've seen him kind of rely upon.
His first one was.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we just didn't see too much of it, I guess. But he did try and drive it, and he lost the ball. That was one of the turnovers. The dunk he tried to go up with, he missed the dunk. Now, granted, that got him to the line, but
Dominique Wilkins couldn't have made that dunk. He jumped from like 30 feet out, it felt like.
Just go up just get the points, especially when you're in a funk. You don't go for the highlight reel. Just get the points.
It's tough because the fan base had high expectations. I think he obviously is a guy that has high expectations of himself. He holds himself to a high standard. Like, I do not think this is a kid that's about the wrong things.
I agree.
Because you'll see that when guys come in, like, they feel entitled to these shots. Like, they're asking him. They were asking him to be a volume guy and telling him to play through it. The problem with that is when you don't come out on the other side, or you haven't come out on the other side yet, it snowballs. And we've seen it snowball on him. The team wasn't playing well. He wasn't playing well. He couldn't find his way out of it. And now here you are 13 games in, and he's in his head. I think it's pretty clear he's in his head. As a scorer.
I did. I know Doug here in the chat is talking about him being a willing passer. There was one I thought for sure he was going to shoot it. He did a pump fake and got the guy in the air and actually made the pass there that set up another pass to the shot.
Yeah, the hockey assist.
I don't remember if it was maybe Jizzle, but it was. I thought that was a great play. I thought that was because you lose the defender at that point. He's gone. Instead of taking that shot that is a little out of rhythm, you actually kicked it out, catch and shoot, hit the 3. And those things I think are what we've been missing with Sean Abayev because he's just been shooting. And I thought that, again, seeing him try and drive to the hoop, seeing him make the pass, you can see he's working on it. He's not just trying to hope that he can shoot his way out of it. So I do want to say that I appreciate the fact that he is trying to do some of these other different things to try and find that rhythm again.
Yeah, I don't think it's been for lack of like understanding what he's going through and genuinely working to find his way back on track. But I mean, you know, it's one thing to do that in practice. It's an entirely different thing when you're trying to do it in the flow of a game, and you're trying to do it. You know, he's not starting now. He was cut down to what, 18 minutes.
18.
So now that weight gets even a little heavier. You know, we'll talk about Kerr a little bit later. Kerr, as a veteran, wasn't impacted at all by being removed from the starting lineup. Like, doesn't care. He talked about it in the post game. We do this like in Euro basketball, the starting lineup, and I wish American basketball would do this more. The starting lineup every night is different based on your opponent and who you're playing, and
how it should be. If you're a good coach, that's how it should be.
But it's not just a good, every coach in America does this. It's an American basketball thing that your starting five is your starting five. I've never liked it. I don't like it. I've never liked it. Like, especially if you're like, you spend all that time game planning, right? You spend all that time breaking down tape, trying to discover advantages, disadvantages. Like, why wouldn't you go, okay, like, we have this guy that we think fits best in this matchup tonight. We're going to start them. But it's just not American basketball. And to that point, Abayev has been raised in American basketball. Starting, like, when do you think the last time that kid didn't start a game was? Ever?
Maybe never. Quite possibly never.
Quite possibly never. Like, quite possibly he has been in the starting lineup his entire life. And I'm sure that's difficult on a kid when that's all you've ever done. And then the starting lineup's called and you're like the DAT master I don't know if he was the DAT master tonight, but you get my point. Like, you're standing there in the line, high-fiving the starters. It's got to mess with your head. It has to.
Sure.
It's human nature. So, yeah, I know people are being ridiculously hard on him. I get it. The expectations were very high. He was a 5-star. He's a McDonald's All-American. He is in his head. Like, he has got to just kind of let go of this and just get out there, play hard, rebound, pass, get lost in the game a little bit, and then some of that stuff will come back to you, I think.
Yeah, and I hope that when it does get back to him, it happens in a way that Kirk Reese experienced tonight, because when you have a one fall and then 2 and then 3, 4, 5, that's got to be a lot more fun than trying to figure out where your mechanics are off or what's going on that you can't get the ball to go through the hoop.
Yeah. When that's all that's ever happened your whole life is the ball's going through the hoop.
Right. So you said you want to talk about Kerr. Let's talk about Kerr.
Kudos to him. Like, didn't let it affect him, didn't let it bring him down. Came into the game when the team did not start well, right? Started down 7-1, came in the game, and next thing you know, it's 18-12, and he's got 3 3-pointers and half of your points. Like, that's a veteran. That's why you have a 6-year guy like that in your locker room. Because, you know, like he said, I played about the same minutes that I've been playing. I didn't, you know, my time on the floor was my time on the floor. I made the most of it while I was out there. Like, that's basketball. That's what you want from a veteran guy. And I think that sets a great example for wherever this goes the rest of the way. I think we all believe it's going to be rough getting through the Big 12. Rightfully so. They haven't played well enough to
Feel good
make
about it.
anybody feel confident about it.
Right.
But you have the right message in your locker room, at least right now. You know, you go on a 4-game losing streak in the Big 12, everybody's going to be ready to chop each other's heads off. But at least as it stands after a win, I think having a guy like that in your locker room that has the wherewithal and the experience and the personality to say, I don't care. That's fine. You want to start him. I'll come in, and when you need me, when you call my number, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play.
Yeah. I don't know. You warned us. You warned us that we were going to see nights like this, and we were going to see nights like he's had. And
yeah,
water finds its level, right? Going 5 of 8, and as he puts it, when asked why he's shooting 90% of his shots as threes, he said, "Yeah, that sounds about right. 3 is more than 2."
I've been trying to tell you that for the entirety of us doing this.
And that's all well and good, and that's fine. But I think the 3 worked a little bit better today because your 2s were falling. You were
when he made 3 of his threes, the 2s weren't falling. When he made 3 of his threes, they were getting beat 7-1 when that started.
I guess I'm saying as the game as a whole, you started to find guys in the paint, and you started to get into the fast pace of the game, and that's when you started to find guys open in rhythm and doing the things that you were not doing for the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I mean, like the 2 Celestine threes that he hit were good ball movement, good rhythm, good catch and shoot. What he needs to be kind of an effective offensive player.
And Tucker pointed it out in the chat. The Shaunabayev pump fake was to Buck and then to Celestine. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Kerr's going to take a lot of threes. I don't want him really taking 2s. Like, he's not a guy that's strong with the ball getting downhill to the rim. He's not a driver.
Which is fine, and especially when you see Jizzle today was totally fine putting his head down, going down and making a play down at the rim. And again, these are the types of things that we need to see. Mustafa Cham was asking in the block, arm up, pass me the ball. I want it.
Yeah.
He was not afraid to shoot today. He missed some, 8 of 13, but I thought he had, as far as the game as a whole, I know you didn't like his first his first half there, but
I didn't like the first 3 minutes. Like the first 3. Oh, you mean Cham? Yeah, Cham. The first half he was rough, Aaron. Let's be honest about it. The first half was pretty rough for Cham. I think he had no rebounds and 2 points.
Well, was it the first half that him and Baba were fighting over the ball at one point, and
yes.
It goes out of bounds?
Yes.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Anywho, she wanted you to be her daddy. Hers left.
I guess.
First half was pretty rough for Cham. Second half was much, much better. Let's go ahead and get into it, Aaron.
All right, we'll start right at the top.
I think Wes asked for a jump ball on it. Oh, boy.
Mustafa Cham, 18 points in this one, 8 of 13 from the field. I believe it said he tied a career high with that 18. 3 offensive, 2 defensive, giving him 5 total rebounds, 2 fouls, 1 steal, 24 minutes played, plus 15.
He found a stretch there in the second half where he got comfortable and he dominated for 7-8 minutes. And he's 8 of 10 from the floor in the second half, made all of his buckets in the second half. Did make his 2 free throws in the first half. But in the first half, like I said, he had 2 points and no rebounds. And then to come out like that and get 16 in the second half, really give the team a spark. There was a kind of a lull in the 3-point activity there early to middle in the second half, where, you know, they relied on it a ton in the first half. They hit what, 8 in the first half, I think. Something like that.
Something like that.
They needed somebody that was going to give them a spark in the half court. And once Chom saw the ball go through the basket, it clicked. Now we've seen back-to-back games, Clemson and now Lipscomb, where he's had these spurts that he's been really, really effective. And that's going to have to not only continue, but expand a little bit over longer stretches of the game where it's not just like, damn, he was really good for like 7 minutes. He can get really good for like 15 minutes. It changes who this team potentially can be because now you've got a factor offensively in the paint to go along with Baba.
Well, if he was good for 15 of his 24 minutes tonight, that would have been a monster game for him.
Yeah.
I still want to see more out of him. Again, when you're 7-2, and first off, you cannot have just mistakes like when fighting for a rebound with your own teammate. That's a terrible mistake. But he was trying to get the rebound at least.
Well, I think West told them to like quit letting Baba get all the rebounds. Somebody else go get one. And then he went to get one, and Baba was like, "No, I rebound, bro." And then the ball went out of bounds. It's interesting. Is it something to say Chamba plays better when the teams we play are better? I think he plays better when there's competent big. I think he struggles when it's like a bunch of smaller guys and it's like gnats swarming around because he still plays with the ball a little too low at times. Yeah. And when you're dealing with smaller guys, they can come over, they can come around and get the knock the ball away. They can put pressure on you in ways that, you know, a guy like that's never really played with his back to the basket is not overly used to, that when you've got bigger guys on you, you're not worrying as much about that. So I do think there is something to that. And I think at UCF, you saw it last year. He was much better in Big 12 play than he was in non-conference play. He's much better when he had guys his size to play against than when he's dealing with gnats, if you will.
Fair enough. I still want to see a little bit more out of him defensively. Yeah. To have 6 blocks in a game and he doesn't have one, I'd like to see him getting involved in that, although I don't think that's going to be an issue.
No.
But just mostly it's still the rebounding for me. Just you've got to figure out a way to get more rebounds if you're the tallest man on the court.
I think he was fine in the second half. 3 offensive rebounds, 2 defensive, 5 rebounds, especially on a game where Baba was literally grabbing every rebound in sight. But 0 in the first half. Got to be better. Even though Baba had, 13 in the first half? He went and got all of them.
Jizzle James, 16 points, 7 of 11 from the field. 2 of 5 from 3, 0 for 1 from the line. 5 assists, 3 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 2 steals, 25 minutes played, plus 28.
Did it feel like a quiet 16?
Yes.
I didn't feel like he had the one stretch where he hit a 3, and then they made a bad inbounds pass. He picked it up, went to the basket, got fouled. But it didn't feel like he spread it out. Like Chom, where everything was in like 6-7 minutes, it felt like. It felt like Jizzle was like 2 here, 2 there, bucket here, bucket there, which is not the Jizzle James that we've watched for 2 years.
Well, and I think we saw a glimpse of the Jizzle James. You kind of brought it up earlier where he dribbled. We saw Dribble James come back for early on in the game. But after that first 3 minutes, he put that back in the bag. But yeah, he got back out of after that 3-minute timeout. After the first 3 minutes, we didn't see the Jizzle who wanted to kind of take over the game offensively, iso ball type stuff, and he got more into the flow of passing and being part of the game.
I mean, what? 16 points, 5 assists.
Yeah.
All day. 7 of 11 from the floor. Like that's been the knock on him is the efficiency. Too many turnovers, not enough assists. Field goal percentage is too low. Taking bad shots. We are not seeing that from Jizzle James.
No, I'll take the offensive efficiency, Jizzle James, every day. We 3 games in, and we haven't seen a fall off really from the team player, Jizzle James, kind of compared to what we saw last year. So I like this version. I think this is it creates more offensively. So I think they're better with him so
I
far.
I would agree. Much better with him, Aaron. Like the level of basketball this team has played in the 3 games that he has been back is significantly higher than the 10 games prior.
Yeah.
And remember, he's really only back because of how poor they played in the 10 games prior. Like you can say whatever you want. You can tell me a million different ways from Sunday what prompted Jizzle James being back on this basketball team. The fact is what we've seen the last 3 games, Aaron. It has been on display. This is a better basketball team with Jizzle James on the basketball court than it is without him. So, do what you got to do.
Well, Kirk Risa, 15 points, 5 of 8, all threes. 1 offensive rebound, his only rebound, 2 assists, 20 minutes played, plus 12.
I think the biggest difference here, he did not have the ball in his hands a lot, Aaron.
The biggest difference here was he made shots.
Yes, but why? He was not facilitating offense. He was playing as a catch and shoot 2 guard, essentially.
Yeah.
So, hey, if he's making them, put him out there to make them.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he looked confident. Of course, it's always nice when your first 3 go down. You make 3 in a row in the first 8 minutes. You feel a lot better about yourself.
I hope we don't see a Kirk Risa heat check game against Houston where he misses like his first 4, 5, and we're all wondering why we're down 12.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, though, you can kind of gauge that now that he's not in the starting lineup anymore. And Jizzle is kind of in that spot. You can gauge some of that, right? Like if he's got it cooking, you let him roll for a little bit longer. If he's off, you can get him off the floor a little bit easier. You've got a little bit more depth. You've got a little bit more that you trust that you can, because let's be honest. Before Jizzle came back, it was Buck, Day-Day, and Kerr. They don't have full trust in Tillery yet. So you almost had to play him a significant amount of minutes. Now, if the shot's cooking, you can play him more. If it's not, you can leave Jizzle on the floor a little bit longer.
Right.
Tonight it was cooking.
Tonight it was. Baba Miller, 11 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line, 6 offensive rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds, 21 rebounds on the night, his career high, 7 assists, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks, 1 steal. He did it all. 27 minutes played, plus 25.
He's really good.
He's really good.
He's really good. This team is significantly better when he is on the floor. Significantly better when he is on the floor. So, the first 20 rebound game since Trey Scott, when Trey Scott had 21. I think Trey had 20 and 20 that night against, I think it was UCF. Man, I miss Trey Scott.
Yeah, same. Like I said, when they start talking about him having numbers that are similar to Gary Clark and Trey Scott, something's cooking, right? I mean,
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, 20 rebounds for Baba. I mean, he can be just a monster on the defensive glass. He's so good at it. So good at it.
Yep. Keeping it moving. 8 points for Day Thomas. 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 1 rebound, defensive, 3 assists, 3 fouls, 1 block, 23 minutes played, plus 20.
Solid. Solid, Didn't need to score a whole lot tonight. He only took 1-2.
I think that's the thing about Day is he is so flexible in what role he's willing to take on from game to game. You see that it's the shots finally falling for Kirk Risa. You see that Jizzle needs the confidence of another double-digit game. Baba Miller's in his bag. Mustafa Cham kind of takes off, and Day-Day's totally okay to just step back, let everybody else do their thing. Find me for the kick out, catch and shoot. I'll take care of that. And if the game gets away from us and I need to step up and be that guy, I can do that too. But today, I'll let y'all do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the Clemson game, like during that entire comeback, he was hitting big shot after big shot after big shot.
Right.
They didn't need him for big shots tonight. He wasn't forcing it. He's perfectly – it's what you'd expect from a fifth-year senior, right? Comfortable in his skin. He doesn't have to go out and force it. He just goes out, takes what the game provides to him, and he's really good at it.
You want a guy like that every single year, and he's matured so well in his time at Cincinnati, and to see him having games like this where he can just kind of, again, just take the back seat and let everybody else drive and be completely okay with that because that's who he is. It's fun to see his evolution. All right, Buck Harris, 7 points, 3 of 5 from the field, made his only free throw, 3 defensive rebounds, 1 assist, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 19 minutes played, plus 9.
I felt like he should have been credited for a steal or two in there that they might have gave to somebody else where he was disruptive and then they got a turnover because of him.
Especially in that
a lot of times. Yeah.
That first segment in the second half.
Yeah. But a lot of times the guy that creates the steal doesn't always get credit with the steal. I'm sure as a defensive stopper, he's used to that. He'll probably, he'll be talking to somebody tomorrow. I mean, I had 2 steals in there. You got to give me one. But when he does that, when he's attacking in transition, playing downhill at the rim, he missed the easy alley-oop that he tried to just lay in, try to get cute, finesse it off the backboard. And then he makes maybe the toughest shot we'll see anybody make all year on the and one that he had, where he got pummeled and just flips it up and it goes in. But that's what you want offensively from him. You've got enough, now that you've got kind of your full complement of offensive guys, you don't need him to be a 8-10 shot a game guy. You want him to be a 5 shot a game guy that attacks the rim in transition, puts pressure on the defense, and gets you some buckets, couple buckets. He averages 7 points a game, I think, for his career. That's who he is.
If he's not taking threes, that's okay. Totally okay.
Right.
Maybe more than okay. All right. I'm with you, though. I think that all of that is fair. I think he's a spark plug, and he is a complimentary piece. Jalen Celestine, as you speak about complimentary pieces, 6 points, 2 of 5 from the field, all threes, 1 offensive, 3 defensive, giving him 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 fouls, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 15 minutes played, plus 2.
15 minutes, 40% from 3, 4 rebounds. I've said it every time he's had a game like that. Sign me up. That's what he's here for. give you 20 minutes off the bench, make a couple threes. As long as he's effective on the glass in those minutes that he's provided, like that's what I expect from Jalen Celestine.
Yeah, 4 fouls, not concerning, but maybe 1 or 2 more than what you want to see out of him
Sure.
in his 15 minutes played. But that's not been like an ongoing issue or anything with him this season.
Sometimes you need somebody to go out there and hit somebody.
Be a goon. But I'm with you. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 15 minutes. Give me that version of Jalen Celestine, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially only shooting 5 shots. Again, that should be him and Buck right around there, and leave it alone. 6 points also for Halvin Zella, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 offensive, 4 defensive, giving him 6 rebounds. Yes, that's more rebounds than Mustafa Cham. 1 block, 16 minutes played, 8 minutes less than Mustafa Cham, plus 12.
Perfect.
He was great tonight. I thought he was legitimately great tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to get 6 points from him very often.
Maybe you do.
He can go in and get you 5-6 rebounds in a couple rotations. Like that's who he is. He plays really good defense and he rebounds. And with Tyler McKinley out, he is your backup center. It's fine. It's fine.
No. Against the bigs in Houston, I don't know that it looks anything like it did tonight against Lipscomb, but it's a confidence builder. It's something that you can build on for sure. But I don't know that he does any of this against those big men in Houston. Yeah. Outside of that, we got a couple zeros. Keyshawn Tillery, no points, 0 for 1 from the field, 2 assists, 9 minutes played, -4. Jordy Rodriguez, 0 for 3, all threes, 3 minutes played. And Grant Derbyshire sees the court for 50 some odd seconds. Wes called the timeout to throw him in there. Nothing doing. Just logged his last minute.
Hey, life is good when you get the walk-ons in at the end of the game.
Sure. 1.271 points per possession in this one. Pretty good. 1.27.
I do have bad news to get to at the end of this game. Houston won tonight 69-60.
Oh, I saw the text.
And Kelvin Sampson after the game said, "This hurts my heart to say this, but I just thought they played harder than we did. They out-hustled us. They out-scrapped us. They were the aggressor." We have seen this happen a couple times over the years with Houston, the game before they played Cincinnati. And usually Kelvin gets their attention, and he's going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to do so.
Weren't already not feeling good about this one.
Yeah. I was really hoping. It was like a 4-point game early in the second half. I think Houston got it out to like 13 or 14. And I was really hoping to see them pull away and win by like 18. But they won by 9. And he's going to have his team's attention. You bring your hard hat on Saturday because Houston's going to be worked into a lather after getting out hustled tonight. He doesn't respond well to that. Out scrapped, out hustled, out heart. I hope UC wins to stop all this Houston love. Sorry. Sure. You know why Houston gets a lot of love? Because they've done it for like 7 years in a row now. They've been the exact same team.
really fucking good.
Yeah. Great. UC's become DePaul. Classic Sean Miller move to rip his team to the fans before they played DePaul and then look like a genius after they blew DePaul out. Not wrong. Not wrong. Anywho, you got anything else on tonight, Aaron?
No, we got George in the Jungle coming up tomorrow, and then you and Dave are going to do.
Yeah, for those sticking around, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow at work, 2:30, 3 o'clock, like your day's got a little dry, Dave and I are going to do the BCJ podcast tomorrow afternoon, about 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in that window. Probably 2:30, but see how the day goes. So that we're not asking you guys to watch a show at 9 o'clock on New Year's Eve. I know none of you want to do that. Plus, a lot of travel on New Year's. That'll be good to give you a chance to listen Wednesday on playback podcast or whatever, Wednesday and Thursday. So thinking of you guys first and foremost. So we're going to do the BCJ pod at like 2:30 tomorrow. George in the Jungle tomorrow night. Aaron and I will throw a couple nightcaps in there. Maybe talk a little Dan Hurley tonight on the nightcap.
There we go.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in. Bearcats win 89-62 over Lipscomb. Big 12 play. Houston, Saturday, is up next. That's the Aftermath, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!